Do you desire to become a better version of yourself? My Couch, Your Life was created to assist you in becoming the best version of you and to encourage you to live your best life. I'm your host, Dr. Patricia Busby-Robinson. You can call me Dr. P. I'm a licensed professional counselor who will bring a unique view regarding several topics that will be discussed on this show. A new episode will be available on Mondays at 5 a.m. bi-weekly. If you desire to learn more about the behavioral aspect of things and to have an occasional laugh or two, please subscribe and tune in. Now, even though I am a licensed professional counselor that's going to bring a unique view, I would fully disclose to you that this is not to take a place of a counselor. And if you do need counseling, please seek a licensed professional counselor in your area. Tune in. Let's grow together. Let's plant the seeds necessary for us to grow, but not just planting the seeds. We're going to water them with great knowledge and have fun while doing it. I hope to see you there. On this episode of My Couch, Your Life, we will be discussing burnout, ways we can prevent burnout, and things that we can do to help get us out of that space of burnout, whether or not it's on your job or in your life. If you're looking for or need some tools or just want to get more education or knowledge regarding burnout, stay tuned and join us on this episode of My Couch, Your Life. Welcome to My Couch, Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. P. Today, we're talking about burnout, prevention, and treatment. We're going to start off with discussing what is burnout. Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive or prolonged stress. It may occur when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. Now, as the stress continues, you begin to lose interest and motivation that led you to take on certain roles in your life, whether or not it's job or in your personal life, because burnout is not just strictly to your job, but it does reduce productivity and saps your energy, leave you feeling increasingly helpless, hopeless, and resentful. You may eventually feel that you have nothing more to give. There are negative effects to burnout that spills over in your everyday life, like your home, your work, your social life. It can also cause long-term changes to your body that can make you more vulnerable to colds, flus, okay? And because of these consequences, it's very important that we deal with burnout right away. Now, I'll ask the question, are you headed to burnout? And what could that road to burnout look like, right? What could that look like? You may think that every day is a bad day. Caring about your home or work life seems like a total waste of energy. You're exhausted all the time. The majority of your day is spent on task, like find whether or not it's mind-numbing, dull, or overwhelming. You may feel like you have nothing, like nothing you do makes a difference or you're not appreciated. Those are things that you can tell whether or not you're headed to burnout, okay? Now, most of us feel like, on some days, not all days, that we are helpless, because we may be overloaded, we may feel unappreciated, right? And it requires us to kind of drag ourselves up out the bed. That's some days. Now, with burnout, it's kind of different, okay? If you feel like this all the time regarding, you just got a thought of work or a thought of interacting with at a job, again about the job, and you just hate it, or when you're getting close to that time for you to go to work and you're just like, oh my God, what's going on? You just got a lot of stress or anxiety building up. You're most definitely burnt out, okay? Because it's a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight. It can really creep up on you, okay? And the signs could be subtle at first, but it get worse as time goes on. Now, these early symptoms that you may have are red flags, and you need to kind of pay attention to those. If you pay attention to that and actually reduce the stress, you could prevent a major breakdown. And that's what we want, to kind of prevent a major breakdown. We don't want to ignore it, okay? Because you will eventually burn out if you ignore it. So we kind of tackle those things that we see at first to kind of prevent us from going all the way over the cliff, right? So some physical signs and symptoms of burnout can be feeling tired and drained most of the time, lowered immunity, frequent illnesses. If you're feeling sick, headaches all the time, or you're thinking about something, just get a headache, it could be very much a burnout, okay? Changing your appetite or sleep habits. You start getting, when it's time for you, Sunday rolls around, you got to go to work on Monday, you're just feeling restless. You can't get the proper rest, you're just tired. You're getting anxious. You may have an anxiety attack or panic attack when it's almost time for you to go to work. Or you may vomit. I've had people get sick, like physically vomiting before they get ready to go to work. That's signs that you are burnt out, okay? Some emotional signs and symptoms of burnout: a sense of failure and self-doubt, feeling helpless, trapped, defeated. You're detached, you're feeling alone in the world. You have a loss of motivation. What you did like about the job, you don't too much like it anymore. You just dread going to work, or in your home environment. Increasingly cynical and negative outlook, okay? You have a decreased satisfaction and a decreased sense of accomplishment. You don't feel accomplished anymore. Some behavioral signs and symptoms of burnout is withdrawing from responsibilities. You're isolating yourself. You're procrastinating. It's taking longer than usual to get things done. You may eat more, right? So you're using food to mask feel how you're feeling. Drugs or alcohol to cope with things. You're taking your frustrations out on others. So you may get home from work and you're snapping out on everybody. The time that it takes you to wind down, because I do advise people when they go home from their job, especially if it's depending on what type of job it is. I know for me, since I'm a clinician, I'm a counselor, I have to kind of give myself 30 minutes, and sometimes, depending on what cases I've had, an hour to kind of decompress before I want to even engage with my family, depending on what has happened, because it's easy to transfer emotions or to give them some type of negative behavior or response that's not warranted, and it strictly have spilled over. Work has spilled over into the home, so we don't want to do that. If you're skipping work or coming to work late or leaving early, you just tired. You done. You want something else to happen. Okay. Most people get stressed and burnout. When you're stressed a lot, you can easily think that's burnout. And then when you're burnt out, stress is there, but it's burnout. Okay. So here's some differences between the stress and burnout, because stress and burnout is not the same thing, okay? Stress people can still imagine that, they know that it's stress, okay? So they imagine that, okay, if I get everything under control, I'm going to feel better. Now, burnout, on the other hand, that's not enough, okay? But when you're burned out, you're feeling empty, you're emotionally exhausted, you don't have no motivation, you don't care no more. Okay, people experiencing burnout often don't see no hope or positive change in a situation. Okay, if excessive stress feels like you're drowning in your responsibilities, trust me, burnout is like, I'm done. It's dried up. You don't care nothing about none of it. Okay, while you're still unaware of being under a lot of stress, you don't always notice burnout, because you may be aware that, okay, I'm on a lot of stress right now. You know that. But with burnout, it's not that noticeable when it happens, okay? Stress, some differences between stress versus burnout. Emotions are overreactive with stress. For burnout, emotions are blunted. Stress is characterized by overengagement. Okay, burnout characterized by disengagement. Okay, burnout produces helplessness and hopelessness. Stress produces urgency and hyperactivity. Okay, stress produces loss of energy. Burnout, you're not motivated. You have a loss of motivation, ideals, and hope. Burnout leads to detachment and depression, and stress leads to an anxiety disorder or high anxiety. Okay, stress primary damage could be physical, and burnout's primary damage could be emotional, even though it can cause physical symptoms and physical illnesses, okay? Stress may kill you prematurely. Burnout you may think and feel like life is not even worth living. Okay, so you may not even want to be here anymore. So you could want to, which comes with suicide when you have burnout. Okay, burnout often stems from your job, but anyone who feels overworked, undervalued, is at risk for burnout. From the hardworking office worker who hasn't taken a vacation to the stay-at-home mom tending to her kids' housework or aging parent. So it just depends. Burnout is not caused solely by stressful work or too many responsibilities. There are other factors that could contribute to burnout, like your lifestyle and personality traits. And I don't think most people understand that your lifestyle and your personality traits also contributes to burnout. Those are factors as well. What you do in your downtime and even how you look at the world can play a big role in what's causing overwhelming stress at work and home demands. Okay, so for work-related cause of burnout, you may feel like you have little or no control over your work. You lack recognition or reward for your good work. It's overly demanding job expectations or unclear demands, right? Doing work that's unchallenging, that's monotonous, you just doing the same thing over and over again. It's boring. Working in a chaotic or high pressure environment. Your lifestyle burnout can look like you're working too much. You're not getting enough time to socialize or to relax. Okay, lack of close supportive relationships, taking on too many responsibilities without enough help from others, not getting enough sleep. Most people don't understand that sleep is very important. You have to get you some adequate rest, because not getting adequate proper rest causes irritability. You're not even functioning together when you don't get enough sleep. And then you go into, just say if you need 8 hours of sleep and you only getting 4 hours of sleep. So now you have 4 hours of sleep that you owe, because there's such thing as sleep debt. So if you just getting 4 hours of sleep, you going into the next day. For instance, if I go to bed tonight, it's Sunday. If I get 4 hours of sleep tonight and I normally need 8 hours of sleep, that means I'm still less 4 hours to make up my 8 hours. So I go into Monday with my on 4 hours from Sunday and needing 8 hours. So really, to get adequate sleep and to pay off the sleep debt, I need the 8 hours plus the 4 hours, which is 12 hours of sleep, to be able to be okay when Wednesday come, right? So just look up your sleep hygiene and sleep patterns. I know for me, I need me good 10 hours. I'm just being honest with you. I've always slept a long time. And look like if I don't get 10 hours of rest, I'm just not, my day just ain't right. And some things may happen that requires you not to do that. When I was in grad school, of course, I couldn't get 10 hours of sleep, being a grad student and a mother of 3 children. But that was a temporary situation, right? It's not permanent. So I know the importance of sleep. So I kind of try to make it my business to get the adequate amount of rest that I need. And I don't feel sorry about it. I don't feel, I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm going to get my rest, okay? Personality traits can contribute to burnout as well. If you're a perfectionist, if you have perfectionist tendencies, nothing is ever good enough. If you have a pessimistic view of yourself and the world, or if you have a need to be in control, you're reluctant to delegate stuff to others, okay? If you're that high achieving type A personality, those are some traits, personality traits that can contribute to burnout as well. So you have to be aware of that. It's okay to get you some help. There's no need to be in control all the time, right? And it's okay to delegate things to other people if the job can be done, right? Because if you're gonna delegate the job to somebody else and then go look over it or whatever, you're still gonna be to me, on a certain level of stress or thinking about whether or not they're doing it or if it's done correctly, right? So you have to kind of determine. Really, you're gonna have to check yourself. I call it checking yourself. When you get that urge to step into doing something that you really should be doing, you have to check yourself and kind of remind yourself to step back, so you won't become overwhelmed. And then now, that's sort of like you taking on everything. If you working a job, you have a high responsibility there. Then you come home and you got high responsibilities there. Then you don't have any kind of assistance or help in the home environment. You're dealing in two high stress places, home and work. But if you got children or a partner, you could be able to allow them to help you with some home chores and things like that to kind of get those things off your plate. And with kids or with your spouse, if they ain't doing it like you like to do it or whatever, tell them how you want to do it, correct them, and show them how you want to do it. But just let them do it how they want to do it. My son wash dishes a certain way. I don't even say nothing no more. I just let him do it how he gonna do it, right? Because I don't want to discourage the little help that I'm getting. So you have to kind of allow people to do it how they want to do it, even though it's not the way that you do it. We don't have to control it to that, to that level. Because as long as you get that's sort of like you ask somebody to go across the street. You ain't telling them the method that they need to go across the street, right? You just need them to get across the street. So whether or not getting across the street is running to get across the street, whether or not it's walking to get across the street, whether or not it's riding a bike to get across the street, whether or not it is driving a car to get across the street, the method in which they're doing it in shouldn't matter, right? As long as they're getting across the street. So that's how we have to look at certain things when we're looking at pick your battles. That's all Dr. P is asking you to pick your battles. Now, when you're dealing with burnouts, some things and some ways you can deal with burnout. When you're recognizing these things, pause and change your directions, right? You have to help yourself overcome burnout and feel healthy and positive again. You got to recognize, which is watch for the warning signs of burnout. Reverse, do the damage by seeking support and managing your stress. Resilience, build your resilience to stress by taking care of your physical and emotional health. Okay, dealing with burnout, there's some tips that I'm gonna give you, like turn to other people. If you have a support group, or that's an effective way, reach out to others. Okay, social contact is nature's antidote to stress, and talking face to face with a good listener is one of the fastest ways you can calm your nervous system and relieve stress. The person that you talk to does not have to be able to fix it. They don't have to be able to fix your stressors. Sometimes we just need to have somebody that is a good listener, who will listen attentively without being judgmental, without any distractions. Sometimes we just need somebody to vent to, right? Long as they are listening. So reach out to those closest to you, whether or not it's a partner, family or friends, and don't think that it's a burden, right? Because most people don't mind that. And if you don't have anybody that you feel that you can trust with your stuff, seek a professional. Seek somebody, a counselor, or for me, a counselor or a licensed clinical social worker. That's somebody in this helping profession that you can speak to and talk to about it. Okay. Another thing is be more sociable with coworkers. Developing friendship with people you work with. That probably can help you buffer out your job burnout. Okay, when you take a break, instead of directing your attention to your phone, try to engage with your colleagues or schedule some social events together outside of work. But talk about something other than work if you're gonna do that, right? Talk about something other than work. Have something other than work. And don't fall into this thing of thinking, some coworkers can eventually be great friends that you'll have outside of work. But be mindful of that too, because all coworkers aren't meant to be friends. Okay? Limit your contact with negative people. Hanging out with negative minded people. They ain't doing nothing but complaining. They gonna only pull your mood down and your outlook down. So even if you have to work with a negative person, try to limit your time that you spend with them, right? Because they're going to shift anybody. If you ever step in the room and you start talking to somebody, they have straight shift your mood. That's what negative people can do. They can shift your mood. So try to limit your contact with negative people. You can also connect with a cause or a community group that is personally meaningful to you, like a religious group, a social or support group. They can give you a place to talk to like-minded people and how to deal with daily stress, make new friends. So just try to get out there and do something other than work or what's causing you stress. You can build new friendships, expand your social network if you don't have many friends. There is power in giving as well, being helpful to others. And it's not, when you talk about giving, people always think you're talking about giving monetary things, the money and stuff. That's not necessarily giving. You can give a person your time. You can give a person a kind word or a smile to make yourself feel better, and it lowers your stress, make you feel better. And also, guess what, it's helping the other person, because we don't know what the next person could be dealing with, right? So just lifting somebody else's spirits up. So you helping them, and they're helping you. You're helping each other. They may not even know how much they're helping you, but they are, and you're helping them. You can reframe the way you look at work. I know that was a big one for me. I had to reframe how I looked at a job that I had when I was going every day. So you have to reframe what you're looking at, how you look at your job. Because let's be real, the most effective way to combat, especially job burnout, is to quit and find you another job that you love and you will enjoy. Right? That's the quickest way. But if you can't do that, you have to change the way you're looking at your job. Find things that you like about your job, what you give, what your job is giving you. I know for me, I enjoy working with my family. I enjoy working with my children. I enjoyed that kind of stuff. So that gave something to me, even though I didn't too much care for the job itself, but I cared for the families and the individuals that I worked with. And then I also changed my outlook on how I looked at it. I said, okay, I'm at a job. I'm going to leave this job better than I came. So that means I'm not going to be the same person, developmentally, skill-wise, or anything like that, because I'm going to leave better than I came. That means I'm going to learn new skills. I'm going to be more developed as a clinician when I leave. So I'm gaining. So I had to change the way I looked at that. And then I also took this approach to it. Okay, I look at, give everything that you do as if it's a service to God. And I did that. And that helped me a lot, because now I know that even though I don't feel appreciated or valued and not even making the money that I should make doing this job, the person that can reward me, the person that have the power to reward me and to give back into me just as much I'm giving into this company, into my family, is God. All right, it's Jesus Christ. So I did it as if I was doing it, as I did it like it was kingdom work. Let me just say it like that, like it was kingdom building work. Because really it is. Everything we do is kingdom building to me. That's what I feel. That's just what I thought. So if that's a value or a way that you could do it, you can try that as well. But I know it worked for me. So you have to try to find some kind of value in your work to keep you coming every day, to change your attitude about the job, to regain a sense of purpose and control. You also can find balance in your life. If you hate your job, look for meaning and satisfaction elsewhere in your life, family, friends, hobbies. Focus on that part of your life that brings you joy. You can make friends at your job, whatever. And then if that don't work, take you some time off. Okay, take you some time off. If you got some time, some vacation time, take you some time off. If you got some sick days, use that. Ask for a temporary leave of absence. Anything to remove yourself from that situation or from that job, and use that time to recharge yourself and recover, right? To kind of re-energize yourself. But hey, if you're getting ready to go back to that job, took you 2 weeks or a month off, and and you still feeling the same way, it may be time for you to find a new job. And that's okay. That's okay to do. Reevaluate your priorities, which is, what do you think about? Take time to think about your hopes, your goals, your dreams, because this may not be your forever job, right? And I also live by a motto that if it's not where I'm supposed to be, this is not my end destination. I still got some growth to do. God still got some things He want to do in my life. I know that He's not gonna allow me to get comfortable. there. So I accept that. So that may also be your thing. So you have to think about that. So do a rediscovery of what really makes you happy. Slow down and give yourself some time to rest, reflect, and to heal. You can also set some boundaries. Sometimes we overexert ourselves. It's okay to say no. We can't do everything, especially when we're at a job. We got to do our job responsibilities, and sometimes we take on more than we should take on. Then we come home and take on more than we should take on. You can say no. Set some boundaries. Set you some healthy boundaries and say no. And it's not a selfish thing, but it is something to protect your mental health and to protect where you are. So say no. And this is a big one. I feel take daily breaks from technology. If you have to set a time of the day, completely disconnect, put away the laptop, turn off that phone, stop checking your email or social media. We have gotten, so many people are addicted to technology, to their phones, and to social media. And it's a hindrance. It's not a good thing for us. All right. So we don't have to disconnect from that. Set some time to completely disconnect from that. You may also want to nourish your creative side. What also creativity is a powerful antidote. Try something new, start a new project, resume a favorite hobby, and choose activity that has nothing to do with work or whatever causing you stress. I done got into jamming. I done got into baking bread, all that kind of stuff. It makes me happy. It gives me some type of joy. But guess what? It has nothing to do with counseling. All right. So find some creative things, some hobbies, and start doing that. Set aside some relaxation time. Use some relaxation techniques, deep breathing, meditation. That activates the body's relaxation response, a state of restfulness that is opposite to that stress response, and get you plenty of sleep. Okay? Because it does exasperate burnout and cause you to think irrationally. Okay? Get you some good sleep. Do that and try to maintain yourself. And one another step is exercise. Make exercise a priority. Even if it ain't nothing but 30 minutes a day. Even if you have to do short breaks or short increments, 10 minutes here and there, then 10 minutes, then a walk, or there's such thing as rhythmic exercise where you can move both your arms and your leg. It's been highly effective ways of lifting your mood, increasing your energy, sharpening focus, and relaxes your body and mind. You can try the running, walking, weight training, swimming, martial arts, or even dancing. Come on now, turn on a song or something and get the dancing in your living room or dancing in your kitchen. Turn your stuff on, get the cooking, dancing while you're doing it. You can do that. And maximize stress release by focusing on your body and how it feels as you move. Do that too. Like, get out of your head, just start thinking, when the sensation of your feet hitting the ground, think about that, for example, or the wind on your skin. Think about that. Another tip is to support your mood and energy levels with a healthy diet, which is minimizing our sugar and caffeines. And I know we may crave these sugar-free stuff, okay? Because I do all the time. I go down to McDonald's right down the street from me, and I go down there, get me some fries in a minute. But they also is a quick way to crash your mood and energy. Reduce your high intake of foods that adversely affect your mood, such as caffeine, unhealthy fats, and foods with chemical preservatives or hormones. You want to eat more omega-3 fatty acid. It kind of boosts your mood. Best sources of that is like your fatty fish, your salmon, your anchovies, sardines. You can also use seaweed. I tried that seaweed. I don't like it, but seaweed can also help you boost your mood. Flaxseed, walnuts. You want to avoid nicotine. Now, I know some people think, because I've seen it, people go get them a smoke when they stress and thinking they getting calm. But it actually is a powerful stimulant leading to higher levels of anxiety, not lower. And drinking alcohol in moderation. Alcohol only temporarily reduces your worry, but too much can cause anxiety as it wears off. So nicotine, alcohol, and drugs does not help you. For me, it creates more problems, okay? So these are some things that you can do to help minimize that sense of burnout that you're going, that you may experience. So I want you guys to think about that as you start your week and go about your day. And make the choice and make the decisions. Implement them in your daily practice of your life. And as always, the only person that you are and can change is you. And live the best life that you want to live, the life that you desire to live. And the most important relationship that you can have is the one you have with yourself. I will catch you all next time. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Goodbye. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, I'm asking you to subscribe today and to follow us on all social media platforms for show updates and upcoming guests. This is Dr. P from My Couch Your Life podcast. I want to take this time to thank you guys for listening, for tuning in, and I hope your morning starts off great. Okay, I would like you guys to subscribe to the podcast. I would like you guys to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. If you got feedback, if there are topics that you would like to hear, want to discuss, please let us know. Okay, this podcast was truly created for people just like you and me. And I want you to remember, the most important relationship you can have is the one you have with yourself. And the most important person that you will ever love is you. I look forward to hearing from you guys.